best friend's mate, and not the golden armoured scourge of London. He had been cursed and bound to a magical oath, and no one could deny the destructive power of that. Chrissy practically lived at the castle once she took up the job of helping Elise sort out the restoration and cataloguing of the library. She couldn't think of anywhere she would rather be on winter solstice. She had grown up watching the Christmas Beauty and the Beast movie and had loved the festive opulence of the Hogwarts castle in Harry Potter. They had nothing on Cian's castle. The Fae loved a party and were beyond extra when it came to decorating. This year was no different. The entire grand hall was hung with roses and fir and pine bowers. Red and gold candles were everywhere. A huge Yule log burned in the middle of the fire pit. The tables were covered in platters of roasted food and fruits. Wine and ale vats were overflowing. The huge extended family of Ironwoods and Great Drakes had arrived with Arn and Tor and a whole contingent of elves. It was chaos. It was glorious. It was so far from the awkward Christmas she would be having with her sister Lou and her kids in a few days' time. When their parents had been alive, it had always been a fun time with their own vast extended family from the West Indies and anyone from their mother's church. She had married a white guy, but unlike Lou, she had stayed connected with her community. Their house at Christmas had been a never-ending party of people. That all changed when their parents had died in a car accident, and Lou had married the most boring white guy she could find. Darren was in some kind of property developing. He loved Lou and the kids, and that was enough for Chrissy. He was just boring. Christmas was spent now with Darren's elderly parents and family. Chrissy, who was always too loud, too colourful, and too pagan, always felt left on the outside. Amongst the Fae, with her braids threaded in gold to match her green and gold velvet dress, Chrissy wasn't even a little bit awkward or out of place. She was wearing a crown of hollyberries, and she felt like a princess. "I was wondering where you went. You have to try some of this spiced cider," Elise said, coming through the crowd with 2 horn cups. She was dressed in red and gold. Her bodice was sewn with golden roses, and she looked every inch the royal mate. "It's like an apple pie orgasmed cinnamon in my mouth." Well, at least until she opened her mouth, and then she was all Elise. Chrissy laughed loudly. "It sounds filthy. Give it to me." She had a large gulp, and it was just as good as she imagined. "There we are. That will fix you right up," Elise said. Her cheeks were flushed and shining. "Why were you looking glum?" "It was a temporary fit of melancholy. I was thinking about having Lou at my place in a few days. I kind of hope someone here gives me a cold so I don't have to go through with it. I know, I told them I'd do it, but they will never be this fun," Chrissy replied. Elise had told her she was crazy to agree to it. "Should I find you someone feeling poorly to snog? I'm happy to," Elise teased, waggling her brows. "Oh, please, by all means do it. It's been a while since I've made out with anyone, and I can just imagine Darren's face when I tell him. He's given up trying to set me up with any of his work friends. Thank Gaia." Elise pulled a face. "What about you says you want a husband like him anyway?" "Exactly. His mother tells me every year that I'm getting too old to have children, and I need to settle down," Chrissy replied. She had also made subtle comments about watching her figure that Chrissy ignored. She had thick thighs, big tits, and an arse that took both hands to grab properly. And she didn't give a fuck what a skinny old white woman thought about it. "Jesus, it's not 1952. You are in your 30s. You have plenty of time if that's what you want." Elise shook her head in sympathy. "You've never had a problem getting a date, and that's not about to change." Chrissy drank more of her cider. It wasn't about getting a date. She didn't want any guy. Like always...